was the experience like when we passed around the doTERRA Serenity oil at the Triumph Over Trauma class that we had? Well, there was that, which was really cool, but there was also a time where Candace kind of got called out for not taking care of herself. And Candace is one of my mentors, and she was visiting from California, and she was just sharing more of her story and, you know, how to incorporate natural solutions to help us with our emotions, which is so important. Emotional intelligence is all about kind of like knowing what you're feeling, why you're feeling that way, and what you can do better in the future. And this class was a, you know, step in that right direction to just help people learn about more of the process of that. And without further ado, let's get into part 4, and make sure to watch this video all the way to the end to get all the important information.
My favorite scent in the emotional oils is passion. And so I am not a super flowery girl. I am a musky, spicy kind of gal, if you couldn't tell. And so the passion connects with that side of the thing that I like. So it actually, I'm passing it around now, has this very cinnamony, more earthy, barky.
It was like a coffee creamer.
That was called Elevation. Now Elevation is not on this particular one. These Elevation is what is known as the original 4, the OG 4. So originally doTERRA only had 4 mood oils that they made. And it was Elevation.
I know, but I'm just trying to get what it is.
Elevation. This one, it's called the Joyful Blend. So if you're feeling down, then it's going to. So there are 2 ways that you can look at this. There's either I want to move away from negativity and I want to do this, or I am feeling very joyful and I want to enhance that and I want to encourage that energy to continue to flow into my life. So there are 2 ways that you can do that. So that one was Elevation. The original 4 were Elevation, Serenity, Balance, and Citrus Bliss. And we'll pass those around as well. But I just want to ask if anyone has any others. So I shared with you my go-to is disconnected, bored, disinterested. Sometimes I'm up on the top with discouraged, and sometimes I'm in that bitter category because I'm an activist.
Well, I was gonna say, if I may share that, I wanna, you know, like be alone. Like my patience goes down. I don't want anybody to bother me. I get more angry and bitter, and believe it or not, but forgive is my favorite oil out of this thing.
So isn't it funny how that works?
Because I just want to be left alone. I want to isolate myself.
So the forgive, it took me a little while. I'm going to pass the forgive around. It took me a little while to come to terms with forgive. I was a little resistant to that one because I thought it meant I needed to forgive the person who hurt me.
You need to forgive yourself first.
What I came to discover is that I needed to forgive myself.
It's not speaking to me today.
Well, it doesn't, you know, things shift.
Every day.
Too passionate. I don't need any more.
It's okay. You don't have to like everything. Let me tell you.
No, I like it, but just not today.
Yeah, I understand that too. Some days things call to you, and some days other things. I get up in the morning sometimes and I'm like, no, not today. No, I'm not. Oh yes, this is the one today, you know. And your body will tell you what it wants. Your body will respond to those things. A lot of holistic doctors, and chiropractors and things, they'll use things like muscle testing as well that can help to show what is it that your body is responding to. Our body has infinite wisdom. We just need to understand how to interpret it, right? So with the forgive, what I came to discover is that I needed to forgive myself for all kinds of things that were associated with, and some of them I put on myself, some of them were from outside sources. When I work with sexual assault survivors, you'd be surprised at the people who are wanting to support them will ask things like, well, why'd you go there that night? Well, why were you drinking? Well, what were you wearing? Well, have you talked with that person before? Did you maybe give them? And so these are really subtle ways. They don't, I forgive them. with this essential oil helping me. I forgive them for not even recognizing themselves, the blame that is put into these. And it can happen also with the loss of a loved one, right? And we start to wonder, what did I do? How did I not see this coming? What could have I done better? You like to forgive, huh? Ah.
Why didn't I say I love you enough?
Why didn't I say?
Exactly what I said.
There's no forgiveness in Kristen today. But there are a lot of ways that we place blame on ourselves, or we allow societal influences to think, well, maybe we were at fault, and that's a function
We are
of
so
capitalism.
hard on
not to,
ourselves.
but-
Everybody blames us. Even if you accidentally say maybe a wrong word or hurt somebody's feeling without not realizing it,
Mhm.
and that eats away at you and everything, you have to learn to forgive yourself
Yes.
from doing that, because
Yes.
you know your intention was not to hurt that person. Okay, so you need to forgive yourself,
Absolutely.
and then they will forgive you. You know, it's
Maybe.
kind of. Well, it's you know what I mean. Or they probably totally forget about it. But yeah,
So anyone else have other, what are your go-to emotions? Is there anything else? Does anyone get worried or anxious ever?
always.
Always.
It's my middle name, Worry What.
Worried and
I'm
anxious.
always worried.
So here we have the Peace Blend, right? Now, the Peace Blend, I call this my Crunchy Mama Blend. This is definitely going to be much more earthy, more of the root and the bark going into this. The Peace Blend, really great for meditation, for yoga practice.
Mild.
It is a mild, it's a more mild, it's growing.
Or I just don't forgive and have
growing
peace
on
that
me.
easily.
Yeah, it is. It's a very, very nice. It's a flowery scent.
No, it smells like more like a woodsy.
Yeah, it's a
It
woodsy
makes
thing.
my
Lavender.
grandkids get along very well. with
Oh,
it.
yeah?
Oh, you need to take a whole big bottle of
Very
that home then.
Well, it's also interesting that some people will pick up different notes.
Right.
So
Yeah.
there are things that might
Lavender,
speak.
maybe that's what it is. Because I did flower, and I
mhm.
picked up the lavender.
Anyone else have any emotions, any feelings that you find yourself ruminating on when you get into? What's that? Hyper. Oh, you get hyper. Okay.
Thinking
So,
too much.
thinking
Thinking too much.
too much. So I have a couple of things for that. So the hyperactive can't shut down, overworking, go, 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 right? For me, I like one of the OGs, one of the original fours is the Serenity, right? So the Serenity,
Does it really work?
I was going to ask, what did Serenity address?
Does it really work?
That's
And
Oh
that's,
my
you
gosh.
like it.
Yes, it
So-
helps wind down.
it works, we need to see if it interacts, how it interacts with your body chemistry. So we can find something that works, this works really well for me. So when I was in my first half of my volunteer work with this organization that I volunteer for, I worked the crisis hotline, but I had my normal 9 to 5. And I needed to come home and I needed to do other things, and I was also doing fundraising stuff. And so I would work my volunteer shifts for the crisis hotline, as well as I would do hospital accompaniment. If anyone was reporting their sexual assault, was going to the hospital to have a kit performed, then I would go meet them at the hospital and be there with them. And what would happen is that I would always take, if it was a hotline shift, it was 3 hours, so I would be on from midnight to 3 a.m. was my hotline shift. And if it was hospital accompaniment, that was a 12-hour shift. And so I'd be on from 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. And the hospital shift, I can go to sleep. And then if I get a call, I wake up, I drive to the hospital, no problem. The hotline shift, I needed to be awake. I needed to be mentally prepared. I needed to be emotionally prepared. I don't want to be woken up from a dead sleep to someone in the midst of crisis. So for about 5 years, I did a hotline shift, Monday through Thursday night, from midnight to 3 a.m.
We still need the serenity to go this way.
Oh,
Okay,
sure.
So,
And
peace to come this way. Oh, this is peace.
what happened with that, there was a day that my husband came to me and I had every other Friday off from my 9 to 5 job. And I was in the middle of organizing a fundraiser at the same time. And he had gone to work to his 9 to 5. And he came home from his 9 to 5. And he's like, did you take a shower today? And I was like, who's got time for that? I'm organizing stuff, you know? And he's like, did you change your clothes? And I'm like, I'm just gonna go back to sleep, and so why would I change my clothes? And he's like, have you left the house? And I'm like, I have way too much stuff to do. I need to be on the phone, I'm on the computer, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, have you eaten anything today? And I'm like, I see where you're going with this, and I don't like it. But he really called me out on the fact that I was not taking care of myself. And so I really had to ask myself, well, I gotta work my 9 to 5, because mama gotta eat, you know? No one was doing the fundraising. I was the only one who was organizing fundraisers for the organization at the time. But we do have about 80 volunteers who take turns working hotline shifts and hospital accompaniments. So I decided at that point in time that I needed to step away, let other people handle this stuff, and I can focus on the things that other people aren't doing. And as soon as I made that decision, I'm like, yes, I'm gonna get to sleep, I'm gonna get to relax, I'm gonna get 8 hours every night. And what happened?
You didn't.
I had a pattern. I had a pattern established that I'm up until 3 a.m. Monday through Thursday. That is my pattern.
Sleep.
I did not go to sleep.
Your body's
So-
in the same routine.
Luckily, my friend who got me involved in the oils, her name is Dr. Marisa Snyder. I was talking to her about it, and she is exactly like this. She goes,